Hi everyone, Tom was here, back at it with another card grading video. You know, I got actually a lot of questions the first time, a lot of comments, a lot of questions on the first time I had graded with them, and this is a submission to Golden Grading. Now, Golden Grading, the cool thing about Golden Grading is it is $4 a card. So for me as a collector, the idea I use Golden Grading, or what I would use Golden Grading for, is to get cards that I wouldn't normally pay the, getting increasingly outrageous grading card fees, but to have graded cards of like kind of lesser cards that I want to keep. But a lot of people inquired and they said things like, hey, what's the rate of return? Like, have you sold any of these? Like, do you see how they fare on the open market? To be honest, I didn't sell any of the cards in my first run through. It was actually ones that I had planned to keep, but I have seen them sold on places like Whatnot, and they seem to be fairly comparably, obviously they don't go as much as, say, like PSA cards, but they go the same as some of those lesser grading companies. So things like ISA and Degree and stuff like that, they kind of go along with those same, prices there. So not, there's obviously a lower rate of return, but not necessarily it's not something that's frowned upon, especially on things like Whatnot. But Whatnot, a lot of people sell for lesser anyway. Now, the other thing that somebody mentioned that I didn't even think about is they said this would be great for somebody that's starting into grading. Kind of a novice thing where you're like, okay, well, I don't necessarily want to pay $25 a card at PSA, but I'd like to get this card graded, and I feel it's a 10, and then it comes back a 9 here with them. Turns out you only paid $4 a card, so it's a little better. But the secret is out on Golden Grading. When I did my first review, the time frame was 30 business days, which is actually pretty reasonable compared to others. The second batch here took 60 business days, and I knew that going in, but when I checked their website, because I was like, I couldn't remember how long it had been since I had submitted these, and I honestly forgot what I submitted. It's been 60 business days. I saw that the current time frame is like 100 or 120 business days, which is pretty crazy. I thought about submitting another batch right after this, and I went, I don't know, 120 days is a long time, because when you consider Golden Grading, the one thing that about Golden is that when you send the cards in, they will send you an invoice for what you submitted. And that's great. But once you pay that invoice, they disappear. You don't hear from them at all. You can't check to see if there's an update. You just get a shipping notice when the cards ship. So keep that in mind if you're using Golden Grading. If you're someone that kind of gets antsy and wants updates, there is no updates with them. They send you an invoice confirming they got your cards, and you pay it, and then they disappear until you get that shipping number. So, we're going to open up the second batch of Golden Grading. I'll be honest, it's going to be a new surprise to me because I almost have no idea what's in there. So let's get into it. Golden Grading, second submission on Tom Was Here.
What's good, everybody? It's Gary B from B Friends. You're watching Tom Was Here.
Okay, we have it open here. Okay. All right. Oh, I forgot about some of these. I really did forget about what some of these were. Okay. All right. So, one of these, this top one here, was a card that my son pulled at the National. My son's a big Michael Jackson fan, and he pulled out he bought a Michael Jackson trading card pack from the 80s from a vendor, and he pulled out a card, and he's like, I want to get a card graded. And I went, okay, we can get a card graded. And he wanted one with like bubbles, but for some reason I know exactly why, I don't like to get horizontal cards graded. I think they look odd because they don't really know where to put the slab, and it looks awkward every time. Maybe someday somebody can figure out a way to make horizontal cards graded better, but until that time, so I got this one where he's in the White House with a picture of George Washington. Now, what we know about Golden Grading from the first time is this silver label means it's not a 10. And I didn't think it would be a 10. It's from 1984. But it is a 8. Okay. Not bad. With a card from 1984, which are notoriously almost off-center regularly. I didn't notice anything. The corners, there's maybe some soft corners on there, and that could be it, but not bad. Not bad. So this one I know is off-center. I know is off-center. I know is off-center. I know it's off-center. Okay. But it's a 1973 Hank Aaron card. And I knew it was off-center going in, but, you know, it was like, okay, cool. Like, it's more a test, kind of, to see Golden and kind of to get their vibe of their grades. Because I knew it wouldn't fetch a super good grade. Like, the corners are soft, it's off-center, but what kind of grade does it get? It gets a 5. Okay. And that's fine. That's fine. It's also cool to get a Hank Aaron card graded, but you can see, like, the off-centering left to right. But this is more a test, not just for me, but for those of you watching, because you can be like, okay, because if Golden graded that like a 10, then you're like, oh, they're just not trustworthy at all. But I think they're pretty honest with their grades, to be honest with you. Ooh, I see a gold label here, which is intriguing considering this is a Larry Fitzgerald 2004 NFL Players Rookie Premiere. It looked pretty clean to me. Upper deck. I don't know necessarily the value of this card, but we're in Pittsburgh. Larry played for Pitt. He's a Hall of Famer for sure. And this is a 10. Very nice. Very nice. I like that. I like that a ton. Okay, so grading all over the place. We got a 5, we got an 8, we got a 10. Okay. Now, the downside of having cards that take 60 days to grade is in those 60 days, one of the people featured on this card may, I don't know, go crazy. Just go off the deep end. Just go so far off the deep end that they make themselves arguably one of the worst people on the planet. My son is a big Kanye West fan. And unfortunately, I was at the pleasure of, we're going to get some cards of his graded. But in between, when I went to go grade those cards, and what happened probably around Super Bowl weekend and the Grammys, is that he went off the rails. I'm not a big fan of like cancel culture. I feel like people can, redeem themselves. But man, Kanye went too far gone. Too far gone. He's off his rocker. And so I'm going to throw these cards into the sun, basically. But it got a 9. That, and then while we're at it, we got a Kanye West. Now, the way I told my son, who, is a big fan of Kanye's music, but obviously, is kind of a little bit, taken aback by some of his comments, as everyone is that that's Kanye West. Kanye West has died. Ye is here now. Ye is here now to ruin anything that Kanye ever, put together that was anything good whatsoever, because his music don't hit the same because he is a crazy person that, is hateful and racist and all those things. But this one got a 10. So 2 10s. Larry's going up top over Kanye because Kanye sucks. Okay. We got another one here. This one I think was a whatnot purchase for really cheap. This is freshman season LeBron's diary card. Basically like a rookie LeBron, but they did a whole series of rookie LeBrons. We know it didn't get a 10, 2003, but a 9. A 9 I'll take. And then we put that over the other Kanye, which is perfect. So then we don't have to look at him anymore. Okay, next one here. This is a 1983 year of my birth Franco Harris card. Corners look pretty clean. Centering looked pretty good to me. Maybe a little bit. For an 83 card, it could be worse. But yeah, corners look pretty sharp. Maybe a little ding here or there. That got an 8. Okay. All right. So, like I said, not too bad. Not too good, but not too bad. The next one here is a Sidney Crosby Phenomenal Beginnings 2006. Now, I know this one had something. Oh, yeah, it has that soft corner right there. So there's a soft corner right there. But I was like, well, it'd be cool, like a Crosby rookie year. Crosby selected the Penguins as first overall pick of the 2005 draft. I'm like, that'd be a cool card to get slabbed. And that got a 9. So no complaints there too much. But yeah, probably that soft corner did it in. Now, next one here, this was one I got off of eBay, I think. Yeah, eBay for a few bucks. This is Steve Breston. Now, many of you may not remember Steve Breston. Pretty, solid receiver for the Arizona Cardinals during their Super Bowl run when they faced the Steelers. But Steve Breston, interestingly enough, I actually went to high school with. I went to Woodland Hills High School near Pittsburgh, which I believe to this date has produced the most NFL players of any high school in the country. But Steve was one of those players, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a fun card to have, I mean, he was a grade below me, but he, I went to a few games where he was the starting quarterback of the team, did end up wide receiver in the NFL, had, I think, at least 1,000-yard season, maybe 2 under the Kurt Warner-led Arizona Cardinals, and he got a 9. So cool. I always like to, throw some autographs in there to see what, how they grade autographs. I knew they didn't grade autographs like an SGC does, but it was just still fun to have some slabs and some things. Just a wide variety of different cards to get graded just to give an idea of how they turn out. This one here, this is a Lawrence Timmons rookie card. Timmons was a pretty solid player for the Steelers. Met him at training camp. Definitely, it's not the best autograph in the world, but as you know from autographs, most NFL players, not too great as far as autographs go, but it's a Lawrence Timmons rookie card, which is pretty cool. And it got an 8. Ooh, an 8. Okay, so a little bit of a ding there. I didn't notice anything. And with these black cards, maybe there's I see there's some white on the corner. Is it is it off-centered, or I don't know. 8's a little low, but that's fine. This next one here is Jaromir Jagr. As stated, I'm from Pittsburgh. It'll be cool. Jaromir Jagr, it's like a checklist card. Checklist card always had the nicest designs. I remember having a Jordan one. I don't think I ever had this Jagr one growing up, but it's a really cool card. Met Jagr this past year as well. So, have a jersey, signed jersey and all that fun stuff. But this one got an 8 as well. Okay, so a little bit tougher grades on this. Only 110, and interestingly enough, or 2 10s. Sorry, it happens to one be Kanye. Okay, this next one here, I wanted to get simply because I wanted a Macho Man slab. I just wanted a Macho Man slab. I thought this might get a 10, but maybe there's something here. Corners look pretty sharp. Maybe it's I see a ding. I see a ding on the surface, I think, unless that's the bag of the slab. But that one got a 9. Okay. All right. Because I know immediately when the label is silver, it means I didn't get a 10. And this last one here, I have no confidence that this got a 10. I knew it wouldn't. It is a horizontal card, but, I was willing to pay the price because it's a reference I reference all the time. Michael Keaton, from Batman, and it's the old Batman 89 cards. I think it's great. Like I said, I just wanted it slabbed. I know it doesn't hold a ton of value, but it holds a ton of value for me, and that got an 8 as well. So kind of tougher grades, but I kind of did that by design. I didn't expect a lot of 10s this time around. But the lowest card we got was a 5. It had noticeable issues, like I said, soft corners, ding, off center, all that stuff. Quite a few 8s, actually. The Batman, the Jagr, the Timmons rookie, the Franco, the Michael, all 8s. So a lot of different 8s there. 2 10s, the Larry Fitzgerald, and the Kanye, unfortunately, and then quite a few 9s as well. So the one thing about golden grading is people would think if you're putting it out for $4 a card, they could easily just be not really looking at grading and just giving everyone 10s across the board. But that is, in my experience with golden, they are pretty fair, I feel, as grading. While certain things, like I said, the Savage, here, in my mind, this could be a 10 or something. Maybe there's something that they're seeing that I'm not seeing, as I thought it was pretty good. And I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. I don't get these graded for all 10s. I get them graded because, 1, I want slabs, and 2, I feel that they're pretty fair as far as that's concerned. But that'll do it. Let me know your thoughts on golden grading. I got a great comment about them, that they didn't, someone that wasn't familiar with the with golden grading, and definitely, you know, I feel like it's something they're going to try out, because this would be a perfect starter for anybody who has some hesitations about grading. I certainly did for a long time. Before I started grading cards regularly, I had, you know, major hesitation about what do I know about what a, you know, what a card's worth a 10 or gets a 10, and then I just decided to just, you know, give it a shot. And for the most part, my grading experiences, other than a few here and there, have been pretty fair. Like I said, sometimes you know, there's a card I thought would get a 10 that gets a, you know, 9 or 9.5, or sometimes there's cards I thought would get, you know, maybe a 9, and they surprise me with a 9.5 or a 10. And then there's ones that I knew would do bad that, you know, do better than I thought. I haven't had one of these experiences where some, you know, I've seen people go to PSA and they order this large, you know, significant amount of money into PSA, and they get some cards back that are modern cards that are rated like a 6 or something like that. I've never run into that before. Everything's been mostly fair. So, let me know your thoughts on golden grading. How do you feel about it? You know, is this something you might want to try for $4 a card? Now, like I said, the secret's out. The current wait time that I saw was 120 business days. That is 4 months. That is significant. If you're willing to depart with cards, like these cards I could depart with for 4 months. It's not a big deal. I don't have anything super exciting in here that I'm like, oh, I would love to, you know, like, I really need this back because I'm going to flip it. No, these are just cards that are like PC cards for either me or my son, and ones that, you know, we're just like, cool to have slabs. But like I said, if you're willing to wait the 4 months, and I may be, you know, at some point here, I was like, I don't know if I'm necessarily sending cards anytime soon, but I may just do it. But how many did I get graded this time around? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I had 13, which is an odd number. The reason why that is because I had, and I got on Whatnot, because occasionally they'll do Whatnot shows, although I haven't seen one recently, a 1 free submission ticket for golden grading. So I'm going to be using this on the next one here, too, because it gives me 1 free card. So I submitted it as 12 cards, but then I just threw the 13th in there, and I threw this little ticket in there to say that, you know, it's a 1 free submission ticket. So that's why it ended up being an oddball 13, but still, cool to have these back. Cool that they're all graded, they're all bagged. The slabs feel pretty good. No complaints. But guys, thanks so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to like, share, subscribe. You can support me on Patreon like John Bailey, like Brett Persing, like Faye. You can do so. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, a TomWasHere t-shirt, you can do so at Spreadshirt, as well as links to my eBay store, Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, Whatnot, Arena Club. The links are in the description below. But when it comes to the next card grading video, or the next video in general, we will see you soon. But until then, bye everyone.